Hello and welcome back. So today is another tutorial day and I did this mint green half cut crease, pretty dramatic, and the lip I kept quite subdued and nude. And now let's jump right into it. To prime my eyelids, I'm using first the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in medium custard. To set the base, any bone colored or transparent powder is good. This one I have is from Art Deco. And also this is a soft crease brush from Ziva, the 221. To do my eyebrows, I'm using an ILINCA powder palette, and first I'm taking the darker shade, that's for the tail of my brow, and then the lightest one is for the front of it. I'm using for this step a small angled eyeliner brush from Ziva. My first transition eyeshadow is the soft brown from MAC. I'm applying this with the same 221 from Ziva. Even if you don't see much when applying this eyeshadow or any other lighter eyeshadow, it's a good step to do. Anything you put on top is going to glide nicely over it and it's going to fade away into this one, so you're going to have like a nice gradient. Another good option would be the Beaches and Cream eyeshadow from Makeup Geek. That's really a nice one. So this kind of eyeshadow I'm always applying generously on a larger area. Next I took Rule from MAC, also a matte eyeshadow, and I am using the same brush from the beginning, and I am being careful to not go over the edge, the upper edge of the first eyeshadow. Afterwards I took I'm Into It from MAC, also a matte eyeshadow, and I applied it with a 231 from Ziva. This went directly into my crease in a much more concentrated way. I did like a V shape with it by applying little by little. It's the best way to apply darker eyeshadows. Then I did the crease cutting and I used the same concealer from NARS and my favorite brush for this. Afterwards I took a sponge applicator from Elite Models and a eyeshadow, a shimmery one from Art Deco in the number 49. It's a mint green eyeshadow. I don't really understand why some people say that those applicators are no good, because I think they are genius. They are the best ones aside from the finger, of course, that lay down color like this and get the maximum impact and the maximum pigment out of an eyeshadow. So don't throw them away when you buy eyeshadow palettes, because especially if you have long fingernails, it's going to be helpful. The same eyeshadow from MAC, the I'm Into It, I'm using then for the outer corner of my eye. I'm using here the same brush I used at the beginning. Afterwards I took Suit, also for the outer corner. This I'm applying with a 227 from Ziva, exactly where the mint green ends. With this I'm dipping up the outer corner of the eye and I'm accentuating the V shape I've created, and I'm keeping the gradient. That's very important. For highlighter I'm using the Pro Sculpting Duo from Makeup Forever, and I'm taking a BH Cosmetics brush for this. So the highlighter goes underneath the brow and also on the tear duct area. Then for the upper lashes only, I'm using the YSL Volume Effect Mascara in black. This stuff makes my eyelashes like no other, but it's also smudgy. It also runs underneath the eye, so you need to be careful with this. If I want it to last, I'm applying this only on the top lashes, and then over them I'm going with a waterproof mascara from MAC, for example. That's really good, and the same waterproof mascara on the bottom lashes. And so you're all safe, it's all good. For false lashes, I'm using the Mink 3D Hair Lashes in A05. They are big and fluffy and they make a difference, you're going to see. Right, so now let's move on to the face, shall we? I'm going to come back to the eyes later, just like I always do. And now I'm applying a face primer from L'Oreal, Indefectible it's called. For foundation, I'm using the Maybelline Super Stay 24 Hour Foundation in the shade 05 Light Beige. I'm showing you this concealer the third time in this video, but I'm doing what I have to. So this time I'm using it as a concealer and as a highlighter underneath the eyes, along the nose, on my forehead and chin. To set my whole base, I'm using then the CMA No Color Loose Powder, and the brush, it doesn't say on it what company it comes from, but it's lovely because it goes into small areas like the inner corners of my eyes and around the mouth, the nose. It's just a good one. Then for the rest of my face, I'm using a multitask brush from Real Techniques. The bronzer is from the same palette from Makeup Forever, and it goes on the highest points of my face. The cheekbones, the forehead, the nose, chin, just as always. By the way, the brush I'm using here is from Zoeva. It's a bronzer brush. My contouring powder is going to be a bronzer. It's the Hoola from Benefit, and I'm taking this because it's a more neutral shade. It's not so grey as the normal contouring powders, and it's not going to go against the bronzer, which is a more warm toned one. If I were to use a more greyish contouring powder, it would look a bit off. For my blusher, I chose the Sephora Happy Birthday Blush Duo, and I'm using both. I'm doing like a mix of them. The brush is the same one from Real Techniques, the multitask one. Afterwards, I took the highlighter from the Makeup Forever palette, and this is a Zoeva fan brush. I don't like to exaggerate with my highlighter. I'm only applying as much as I think it looks okay, even in person. The nose contour I'm doing with an angled fluffy brush from e.l.f. and I took the same Hoola from Benefit. So this time it's not going to be a very defined nose contour, it's just going to be something there that's going to make the nose slimmer looking. for the lips, I took my favorite long lasting lip liner from Essence in 05 Lovely Frappuccino. On top of that liner, I put a Kiko Double Touch 10-hour lipstick in the shade 100. And now moving again to the eyes, I'm using Raw underneath the eyes as well in a very diffused and smoky way. Also, this brush is a Barbara Hoffman shader brush. Then Soot goes along the outer half of the lash line, and I'm keeping this very concentrated, very fine. The brush I'm using here is the same one from Zoeva I've used for the eyebrows as well. The bottom lashes I'm coating with the MAC Extended Play Mascara in black, and this is waterproof. In the inner rims of my eyes, I'm using the Too Faced Perfect Black Eyeliner. This has been a fave this whole year. So guys, what do you think about this look? Did you like it? If you did like it, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, you know the drill, and also follow me on social media. I am on Instagram, on Facebook, and on Vero, that is new. And I'm going to see you and catch you in my next tutorial, so stay safe. Bye!